What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Here today with another install. So today I'm going to be installing some rear spats on my car. So these are the, I think they're called the HT Autos rear spats. I'm going to double check that. I actually got these on Amazon. I don't remember how much they cost. I'll go look it up and then I'll put it somewhere on the screen so you guys can see. They were pretty cheap, and I mean, you know, they're just plastic, nothing crazy. They're like a dark, like a black finish kind of, not super shiny, a little shiny, but nothing crazy. I'm just gonna leave them the way they are and install them like this. So for you guys that don't know, rear spats go on the rear bumper, on the rear corners. They're kind of like, so let's say you get a side skirt. These are kind of like the extension of the side skirts on the side part of the bumper. So this is gonna fit right around there, something like that. So these already have some holes in them, and I was already checking to see if the holes match up. They don't line up perfectly, but I think I know how you're supposed to mount these. If you want, you could just get self-tapping screws and just screw these directly onto the bumper. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the hardware that it came with, which is over here in the little baggie of some bolts and nuts. So I'm actually going to use these guys. I think there's 5 for each side, so for each of the holes, there's 5 holes. The holes in the back two, these two line up pretty well. These 3 are actually kind of like spaced, like there's like a gap. So if I put these on the car, these holes are not right up against the bumper. There's like a little gap in between. So I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stick the bolt through the bumper so you have the thread sticking down. You line up the spat, you know, with the holes, make sure the threads go through the hole, and then you use the nut to try to secure it. Like, you don't have to tighten it all the way down because then it's gonna start bending and flexing in weird directions. You just want it to be snug so it won't move. So let's give that a try. To make it easier, I mean, you can leave the car on the ground, but it's kind of tight down there and it's kind of hard to maneuver around. So I actually have these little ramps. So I put my car on these ramps and it made it a little bit easier. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jack up the rear end, put the car on jack stands. That way I have plenty of room to see what I'm doing and make sure that everything fits properly. So now I'm gonna go jack up the car. Okay, car is jacked up. Have it on jack stands on each side, and then I have the jack holding up the center diff just as a third point. So let's get down here, and I only have 2 clips. Okay, so on the other side, I don't even know how well you guys can see it. Okay, so this clip here, you have to take that clip out. There should be another one here. On this side I don't have one for some reason. On the other side I do. And then this clip down here. This clip might be a little difficult. If you don't have rear mud flaps, then it should be easier. But with the rear mud flaps, there's just like an extra layer of things that this pop clip needs to go through. So that makes it tough to get out. But yeah, we're gonna remove these pop clips, the ones on the other side, and then yeah, we'll go on from there. So I'm on the passenger side now. Okay, so as you can see, I have removed all the pop clips. I actually started putting in the bolts. So I already have one here, 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 and then I was trying to figure out how to get these 2 in. This plastic piece is kind of in the way. So at first what I did was there's 2 clips holding it in on top. Get the camera back in there. So there's 2 clips up here holding them. So I popped those out, but all that does is help me fold this piece inward, but I still can't get access here. But one thing I noticed is if you peel this down or back a little bit, you have an opening right here. Little hole where my finger is, right there. So I can sneak, I think, a bolt to go through this last hole over here. So I'm going to try to do that, and then also try to get one here. So so I'll get back to you guys. These three are pretty easy. This one, you know, you have space right here. And then this one, I have small hands. So I was able to snake my hand back here to get the bolt to come out. So this one might be a little difficult depending. But I think also if you just peel this backwards, you see that? You peel this back, and then I think you can sneak your hand behind to get the bolt. So I finally got him in. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one was so annoying to get in. This one's easy, this one's easy. These two are pretty easy. But yeah, this one I had to, Jesus, I had to get like a, if you have like a needle nose plier, you can shove the needle nose plier through this hole over here and then guide the screw back here or hold it, because it's so difficult getting back here, guys, like you have no idea. But yeah, I got it on now, so I'm gonna get the rear spat and start mocking it up. Alright guys, so I got the rear spat on now. As you can see, it looks pretty good. And it just like continues like the whole flow of like the bumper, how you have like this little piece here that goes around the exhaust, and then boom, rear spat goes up until the side, and then it's on here pretty tight. I'm gonna tighten down the bolts a little bit more, but there's no gap. It's right against the bumper. There's a little gap here, so I mean if you want to put like a screw, you can, you know, put a self-tapping screw here to close this little gap, but I'm not all that worried about that, to be honest. So yeah, let me just tighten down those nuts, and then this side's done. Then I gotta go work on the other side. All right, it's tightened down. I'm looking at it a little bit now. It's firm, like it's not going anywhere, but it does flex a little bit like here. If I pull down on it, it'll move. I guess I'll see after driving with it for a bit if this, you know, moves too much, because there is a hole right down here. So I could just put a self-tapping screw here and that'll hold this piece in place. And then if I really want to, I could put another screw here to hold that like that. Other than that, it's firm. And then if you wanted to tighten down the nuts with the socket, it is a 1/2 inch. Yep, 1/2 inch socket fits perfectly on these. Alright, let's finish the other side, and then I'll show you guys what it finally looks like, you know, with these spats on. These should be pretty easy, but I mean they're a little bit of a pain just to get the actual like bolts in. Tightening it down and everything, that's pretty easy. It's just getting the bolts in there and figuring out how to get the difficult ones to go in. But once you get them in, it's a relatively easy procedure. Alright guys, so the spats are on. Here's what they look like. I think they look pretty good. They definitely complete the look of the car. The rear of the car now looks, you know, finished. Now all I need to do is put the side skirts extensions and the front lip. Alright, well, if you like the video, give it a like. Subscribe. I'm gonna be putting, you know, a few more parts in this car. I'm not finished with it yet. And yeah, thanks for watching.